better known to you as Dracula.
I bid you welcome.
Eerie, huh? Well, so much for legend, because this isn't really Dracula's castle, because there never really was a Dracula, at least not the fellow with the teeth. And yet, this place is called Dracula's Castle. Why? We've got the American tourist and Hollywood to thank.
When these first Americans arrived in Romania, and when they reached this southeastern corner of Transylvania, all of a sudden they discovered this castle and said, "But this is Dracula's castle." And we asked, "How do you know?" "Well, it looks just like in our pictures."
This is really Castle Bran, and King Vlad Dracula, who inspired the original book, did own it, but he never slept here, or bit anyone here for that matter. In fact, if you were to ask the average Romanian about Count Dracula and vampires,
I think most people would ask you, "Who's Dracula?"
I am Dracula.
in Transylvania, Mike Hegedus, Channel 5 Eyewitness News Nightcast. The Black Sea, as did those who took the very first Orient Express in 1883. We are going by ship from Varna, Bulgaria to Istanbul, our train travel behind us. At about 9:20 a.m., we enter the Bosphorus, a channel of water separating Europe from Asia. The first on the right, the second on the left. Now a very special moment on this trip, because we have now reached Istanbul. We've sailed down the Bosphorus for about the last hour. For most people, it means that this trip is almost over. For me, it means coming home. It was over 20 years ago, but that was the Hegedus home up on the hill. This is the first time I've been back. Funny what it'll do to you.
Isn't this something?
Once we dock, a quick trip to the old schoolhouse reignites a few memories.
The desks are different, though.
And a walk through the neighborhood where we spent over 3 years reintroduces the sound of the yogurt man selling his wares. There is that saying about not being able to go home, but then again, it doesn't hurt to visit. But there is so much more to Istanbul than boyhood remembrances. It truly is where Europe and Asia meet and mix, connected by a bridge these days, but also by such things as Hagia Sophia, built first as a basilica in the year 325 by Constantine, 1100 years later, converted into a mosque. And a visit to Istanbul is nothing without a trip to the Grand Bazaar, a city unto itself, where commerce is the international language. The day ends with a belly dancer in the Hotel Para Palace, built specifically for the passengers of the first Orient Express over 100 years ago. And the trip ends with a few glances back by some who came along.
It's been a grand train trip. All I can say is green, green, green. I've seen every shade of green.
I think Romania was a highlight.
It was unreal, the whole thing. It was a fairy tale.
And for me, well, there is one singular lasting impression. It is a much larger world than we experience on a daily basis. And while we traveled through 7 countries, we also touched people in each, and one-on-one, face-to-face. There were no borders, no barriers, just people. The experience of the Orient Express. Mike Hegedus, Channel 5 Eyewitness News Nightcast.
Se ha ido transmitiendo de generación en generación. Thank you.